Free Japan channel number 206. Today, July 19th, Sunday. The time is 5 p.m. Good afternoon, everybody. July, the midsummer. Therefore, good afternoon, not good evening. The sun is now in the western direction, but July's sun is shining. Dear friends, how are you doing? Today's topic is the fall of Russian stock market. Every stock market has its own index. In Japanese stock market, it is Nikkei index. In American stock market, it is New York Dow index. So every market has its own index, indicating the standard movement of the stock in average. And in Russian, stock market has its own index, and this index was approximately 1,200 until May, 1,200 approximately. And in June, the systematic drone assault began from Ukraine to Russia. And surprisingly, Russian refineries located deep inside in Russian territory were successively attacked, consecutively attacked by Ukraine drones. This shows that the drone technology, in addition to AI technology, have so rapidly developed in the Western side. Of course, Russian side has also made effort to develop the drone technology, but the Western technology is no doubt superior to Russian technology, and then the result of which is now so clear. So deep inside in Russian territory, oil refineries were attacked one after another. Oil and natural gas are the most important resources in Russian daily life. Of course, not only in Russia, but also in everywhere here in Japan. Oil is the most valuable resource in the modern era. And Russia is very famous for its abundant oil reserve. And at least Russian citizens didn't worry about the supply of oil because their land produces indigenous oil for its own citizens. But the oil refineries which produce this oil are now being targeted by Ukrainian drone assault. And now we clearly know that Russian oil refineries are so vulnerable to drone attacks. They couldn't fend this drone attack from Ukraine. This fact is immediately known to Western countries, of course, to Ukraine itself. And Germany, France, and the United States have already published their intention to provide necessary drone technology for Ukraine. This shift of technology of drone from Western country to Ukraine would encourage the autonomy of Ukrainian military industry. If Ukrainian military industry, so military companies, know the recipe of effective drones or latest drones, then they can produce these drones for themselves. Then Ukraine will not need the aid from Western countries, which is very good news. Good news for Ukrainian citizens, isn't it? In FGC, I have repeated that Russia outweighed Ukraine in this war. The national capacity is totally different from Russia and Ukraine. Even though all Western nations, including Japan, help Ukraine with their money, technology, sometimes commodity, Russia can win this war. This was the outline of Free Japan Channel's insistence until now. Therefore, I also said that Ukraine should renounce this war, losing its 20% territory. Now, Ukraine still has 80% of its previous territory. Therefore, for the time being, Ukrainians should be content with this 80% of territory, which remains for them. If not, the erosion of territory for Ukrainian people will exacerbate more and more. However, now in July, the drone attacks from Ukraine to Russia turned out to be so effective that Putin administration also now in the corner, so they're in trouble. The fall of Russian stock market so clearly shows this situation, and this stock market has not bottomed out, not yet. Therefore, next week we should pay attention to Russian stock market, the index of which is shown everywhere, here in Japan, of course, and in your country. If this index of Russian stock market continues to fall, then this is a red signal for Putin administration. Until now, Putin administration was very confident about the result of this war and of its military capacity. But now, they are not so confident at all. Drone attacks are so efficient. Russia has thousands of nuclear weapons, and they have also the missiles which can carry these nuclear bombs. But nuclear bombs are the weapons which can never be used in the modern era. Nuclear weapons are, if anything, diplomatic tool, not the practical military weapons. Therefore, Russia cannot utilize its own nuclear weapons. Of course, if Russia resort to its own nuclear capacity, then Ukraine itself would soon vanish on the earth. But if so, the rest of the world would be furious, would be really furious, including China maybe, to Russia. And Russia could not survive at all, even though its its autonomy on food and energy. So Russia cannot resort to nuclear weapon yet. Then, when it comes to conventional weapons, Ukraine are now overweighing Russia. It sounds curious, but it's a reality. Next week, let's pay attention to the index of Russian stock market. Now, 786. So Russian stock market lost 30% roughly in 1 month. Will it continue to fall or will it bottom out? This is a critical point of next week. Thank you.